In the sprawling web of Japanese manga and anime history, few names resonate as deeply as Katsuhiro Otomo. Born in April 14, 1954 in Miyagi, Japan, Otomo's journey into the world of artistic creation began in the unassuming backdrop of post-war Japan. His childhood, marked by a blend of personal experiences and a rapidly changing society, laid the foundation for the visionary storyteller he would become. Otomo grew up in an era of transition, where Japan was grappling with the repercussions of World War II and embracing the winds of modernization. Raised in a modest family, his early years were not marked by affluence, but rather a curiosity that would come to define his artistic sensibilities. The post-war period exposed him to a diverse array of influences, ranging from traditional Japanese art to the influx of Western media that swept across the nation. The budding mangaka's earliest memories are infused with the sights and sounds of a country awakening to the possibilities of a new age. The impact of the atomic bombings, even through distant memories, lingered in the collective consciousness of Japanese society, subtly influencing Otomo's worldview. This awareness of the consequences of war and the potential perils of unchecked technological advancement would later find expression in the dystopian landscapes and cautionary tales woven into his works. In Tokyo, buildings are eternally being torn down and rebuilt. It's at the point where it's rare not to see a building under construction if you take a walk outside. Ever since I depicted a huge apartment complex in Domu, I've had a much larger interest in architecture, which has led me to depict more buildings under construction. Otomo's voracious appetite for media consumption during his formative years became a crucible for his creative imagination. In an era where manga and anime were on the brink of a cultural revolution, young Katsuhiro delved into a plethora of comics, animation, and literature. The vibrant pages of Tezuka Osamu's manga captivated him, opening a gateway to the boundless possibilities of storytelling. However, it was the influx of Western films and literature that would leave a blistering mark on his burgeoning artistic identity. At elementary school, I used to enjoy copying things like Tetsuan Atom or Tetsujin 28 Go because I enjoyed drawing. However, this is something that every elementary school kid did, so it's not that special. When I started to draw manga seriously, it was due to a book by Shotaro Ishinomori called How to Draw Manga. So I read this book and I came to understand how manga could be drawn properly. From that point, I tried to draw manga more seriously. Science fiction, a genre that would later become synonymous with Otomo's name, beckoned to him through works of luminaries like Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke. The juxtaposition of futuristic visions and societal commentary embedded in these narratives sowed the seeds of Otomo's fascination with speculative fiction. Dystopian visions of a world grappling with the consequences of scientific progress resonated deeply with the young artist, foreshadowing the thematic undertones that would permeate his future creations. As Otomo navigated the landscape of his adolescence, he found himself drawn to the cinematic works of Akira Kurosawa and other authors who were reshaping the language of film. The visual storytelling techniques employed by these directors became a wellspring of inspiration for Otomo, influencing the way he envisioned narrative progression and character development. In the crucible of his youth, Katsuhiro Otomo absorbed the diverse influences that surrounded him. From the inked pages of manga to the flickering frames of international cinema, little did he know that these eclectic experiences would coalesce into a creative force that would redefine the landscape of manga and anime, marking him as a visionary storyteller with a unique voice. The next chapter of his life would see Otomo emerging from the cocoon of his formative years, ready to unleash his artistic metamorphosis onto the world. Right from when I was a kid, people said I was good at drawing. I won a prize for a road safety poster, that sort of thing. Around the end of junior high, I started reading a magazine called Calm, which ran experimental manga with a different social aspect to the usual shonen manga, read by those my age, thus overlapping with my growing up, and I got the feeling there was a lot more one could achieve even with comics. By high school, I was going to the movies. About once a month, I'd get up at 6 in the morning and make the 2-hour journey to Sendai to see a film. This coincided with the early 1970s and the zenith of new cinema, the era of Easy Rider, Midnight Cowboy, and Bonnie and Clyde. New cinema films were full of weird people, as opposed to heroes. This had an extraordinary impact on me. As Katsuhiro Otomo transitioned into his teenage years, the cultural metamorphosis of post-war Japan continued to shape his artistic inclinations. The societal upheavals of the 1960s, marked by protests, political unrest, and a fervent desire for change, provided a dynamic backdrop to Otomo's coming of age. His teenage odyssey unfolded against a canvas that was increasingly influenced by countercultural movements, offering him a new perspective that would echo in his future creations. During his high school years, Otomo found himself entangled in the vortex of student activism and the avant-garde art scene. The zeitgeist of rebellion against established norms permeated his surroundings, and the spirit of dissent left an indelible mark on his evolving artistic sensibilities. The burgeoning anti-establishment sentiments and the quest for personal identity in a rapidly modernizing society found resonance in Otomo's own search for creative expression. I wanted to draw this story set in Japan similar to how it was after the end of World War II. Rebelling government factions, a rebuilding world, foreign political influence, and an uncertain future. A bored and reckless younger generation racing each other on bikes. Akira is the story of my own teenage years, rewritten to take place in the future. I never thought too deeply about the two main characters as I made them. I just projected how I was like when I was younger. I also wanted to depict the later Showa period, including preparations for the Olympics, rapid economic growth, and the student unrest of the 1960s. I wanted to recreate the assorted elements that built this era and craft an exciting story that would seem believable enough in reality. The medium of manga, a constant companion since his childhood, continued to be a source of inspiration and refuge for Otomo during his teenage years. The manga landscape was undergoing a transformation, mirroring the social upheavals of the time. The Gekiga movement of the late 1950s and 60s saw the rise of alternative and experimental works begin to gain traction, challenging traditional storytelling norms. This environment fostered Otomo's desire to push boundaries and explore uncharted narrative territories. Amidst the ferment of societal change, Otomo's immersion in the works of renowned manga artists like Sanpei Shiraito and Yoshiharu Suge deepened. Shiraito's socially conscious and politically charged narratives resonated with the young artist, kindling a sense of responsibility in his storytelling, a commitment to engage with the issues and dilemmas of the world around him. Suge, on the other hand, introduced Otomo to the power of introspection and personal narratives, influencing his approach to character development and storytelling on a more intimate scale. As Otomo traversed the landscape of his teenage years, cinema continued to exert its magnetic pull on his creative spirit. The films of the French New Wave, with their unconventional storytelling techniques and thematic explorations, left an undeniable mark on his cinematic palette. Directors like François Truffaut and Jean-Luc Godard expanded Otomo's understanding of the medium, encouraging him to view storytelling as a dynamic and evolving art form. However, it was in the seismic event of encountering Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey that proved to be a watershed moment for Otomo. The film's visionary approach to science fiction and its exploration of human evolution left an enduring impact on his creative psyche. The narrative complexity and visual prowess of Kubrick's masterpiece would later find echoes in Otomo's own seminal work, Akira. In high school, Otomo developed an ambition to become an illustrator or film director. At this time, one of his friends introduced him to an editor at Futabasha, who, after seeing Otomo's manga, told the high school student to contact him if he moved to Tokyo after graduating. Otomo did exactly that and began his career as a professional manga artist. Having decided there wasn't much point stagnating out there in the provinces, I headed for the capital to try my luck. I'd already eliminated the university option. It must have been about this time that my contrarian character came to the fore. New cinema films were the stories in which basically the main characters are wanderers. Maybe I was attracted to that lifestyle. In any case, I wanted access to my beloved films whenever I felt like it. I wanted to get to know the crew that were drawing for Calm, and I wanted to see the world, so on graduating I moved straight to Tokyo. During his early 20s, Otomo found himself at a crossroads, navigating the delicate balance between artistic aspiration and the practicalities of life. His entry into the professional manga scene marked a significant turning point. Otomo's debut independent work, A Gun Report, published in 1973, showcased a departure from conventional storytelling norms. The narrative was infused with a gritty realism that mirrored the turbulent times in which it was created, setting a precedent for the edgier and socially conscious narratives that would define his later works. The socio-political landscape of Japan during this period played a pivotal role in shaping Otomo's worldview and narrative choices. Student protests, labor strikes, and a palpable sense of disillusionment with the establishment permeated the air. Otomo, keenly attuned to the pulse of his generation, channeled these sentiments into his storytelling. His characters grappled with the complexities of society in flux, mirroring the tensions and uncertainties of the real world. Another noteworthy manga from this period is Short Piece, a collection of short stories written and illustrated by Otomo, published from 1976 to 1979. Short Piece features a series of interconnected narratives, each exploring different facets of the human experience, from historical dramas to futuristic tales. Otomo showcased his ability to traverse diverse genres while maintaining a thematic coherence throughout the anthology. Katsuhiro Otomo's venture into science fiction was notably shaped by the pioneering designs of Studio New in the mid to late 1970s. Studio New, renowned for its contributions to iconic series like Space Battleship Yamato and Zero Tester, played a pivotal role in redefining the visual language of Japanese sci-fi. Otomo drew inspiration from the intricate mecha designs and futuristic cityscapes. This influence is evident in much of Otomo's work, where the detailed urban landscapes and technology reflect Studio New's groundbreaking aesthetic. The fusion of Studio New's innovation with Otomo's narrative mastery resulted in a seamless integration of influences, contributing to the transformative impact of his work on the manga and anime landscape. In the realm of manga, Otomo's contemporaries included luminaries like Yoshiyuki Tomino and Hayao Miyazaki, each carving their own niche in the evolving landscape of Japanese popular culture and establishing the vast market for grittier science fiction-themed manga, like Miyazaki's Nausicaa or Tomino's Mobile Suit Gundam. The exchange of ideas and creative energies within this cohort fostered an environment of innovation and experimentation. Otomo, never content with the status quo, sought to push the boundaries of the medium, experimenting with narrative structures and thematic explorations. Mobius, the pseudonym of the influential French comic artist Jean Girard, undeniably left a gigantic mark on the world of comic art with his surreal and intricate style. Katsuhiro Otomo has acknowledged Mobius as a significant source of inspiration. Mobius's ability to blend detailed, otherworldly landscapes with a deep understanding of human emotion and intricate storytelling resonated with Otomo's artistic sensibilities. The fluidity and complexity of Mobius's compositions, along with his masterful use of line work, have influenced Otomo's approach to creating visually stunning and emotionally charged narratives, inspiring Otomo to finally delve into the world of dystopian science fiction that he would become so renowned for, tackled with his very own unique artistic perspective. I decided not to allow my work to get into a rut, or to develop a particular style, but to keep doing new things. Perhaps influenced at the time by Star Wars, I had this desire to draw soaring, dynamic pictures, and thought maybe sci-fi would be the direction to take. Manga do have quite a lot of sci-fi elements to start with, and I begin to think it might be interesting to redo my portraits of people in a sci-fi setting. Fireball, a short manga created by Katsuhiro Otomo in 1979, stands as a testament to his early experimentation with the medium. Set in a dystopian city, the story revolves around the struggles of a young freedom fighter as he navigates an oppressed urban landscape filled with militia and corruption. With a raw and dynamic art style, Fireball exemplifies Otomo's ability to weave gripping tales within the constraints of short-form storytelling. The work showcases his early penchant for exploring dystopian themes and the human condition against a backdrop of societal decay, foreshadowing the thematic elements that would later come to define his more expansive works. Released in 1980, Domu represents a pivotal moment in Otomo's career. A precursor to the groundbreaking Akira, this psychological thriller explores the supernatural consequences of an intense psychic duel between an elderly resident, Old Cho, and a young girl, Etsuko. The narrative unfolds within a high-rise apartment complex, becoming a microcosm for the clash between the ordinary and extraordinary. Domu showcases Otomo's masterful ability to blend elements of horror, science fiction, and social commentary. The exploration of psychic powers and their impact on individuals and society set the stage for the grander themes that Otomo would later explore in Akira, solidifying Domu as a significant milestone in the evolution of his storytelling prowess. That project was inspired by seeing The Exorcist, being intrigued by it, and declaring to friends at a bar that my next work would have an occult focus. The occult/creepy western house scenario struck me as uninspiring. And just as I was thinking of setting the story in an unmistakably Japanese location, the series of suicides at Tokyo's Takashi Madaira housing complex hit the news, so I went for a housing complex. The question was how to embed sci-fi and occult elements in the everyday. I was confident I could produce some pretty lurid drawings even of something as familiar as a housing estate, finding something spectacular in the everyday. Farewell to Weapons, a one-shot manga created by Katsuhiro Otomo in 1981, is a gripping exploration of the consequences of unchecked militarization and the dehumanizing impact of advanced weaponry. Set in a dystopian future, the narrative unfolds amidst a desolate landscape ravaged by massive mechanical weapons, each driven by the remnants of a dehumanized society. Otomo's distinctive art style brings the harrowing scenes to life, emphasizing the visceral toll of war and the technological progress on both aggressors and victims. Through this work, Otomo offers a profound commentary on the ethical implications of unchecked technological advancement and the moral responsibilities that accompany it. For the mecha designs in Farewell to Weapons, obviously Studio New's work was popular at the time, specifically the work of Kazutaka Miyazaki and Naoyuki Kato, who had done some great designs for powered suits. However, as I was saying previously, during that time there was no hard science fiction manga. I mean, we only had cute science fiction like Doraemon, so I wanted to change that and do something more realistic and believable. In terms of influences for Farewell to Weapons, obviously Studio New was huge, but there were also things like 2001: A Space Odyssey in there as well. As my work comes from my mind, it means that all my influences are jumbled up and mixed together, so what I've seen and experienced. In that sense, I've absorbed many different things from a variety of works over the years. That makes it difficult for me to know exactly where certain things came from. In short, I digest many different things and ideas tend to pop up from that. Katsuhiro Otomo's manga masterpiece Akira, published from 1984 to 1993, stands as an unparalleled achievement in the realm of science fiction storytelling. Set against the sprawling backdrop of post-apocalyptic Neo-Tokyo, devastated by a cataclysmic event, the narrative unfolds with a riveting blend of socio-political commentary, psychic phenomena, and cyberpunk aesthetics. At its core, Akira weaves a complex and multi-layered tale that explores themes of power, corruption, and the human cost of unchecked scientific progress. The characters, notably Kaneda and Tetsuo, are intricately developed against the dystopian landscape, grappling with their evolving psychic abilities and the political machinations that ensnare them. Otomo's meticulous attention to detail is evident in every panel. From the intricate cityscapes to the visceral and kinetic action sequences, the narrative crescendos with a climatic confrontation that not only pushes the boundaries of manga storytelling, but also serves as a commentary on the consequences of humanity's insatiable pursuit of power. Akira is a tour de force not only for its groundbreaking narrative, but also for its influence on the global perception of manga and anime, solidifying Otomo's legacy as a master storyteller and visionary artist. I'm constantly observing the world thinking, why do things work out like this? People becoming boy racers or yakuza, or at war somewhere? It strikes me that things gradually just tip off balance. I always imagine things will work out alright somehow, but they don't. I was a serious-minded, sincere sort of child. And I think that really everyone possesses amazing powers, universal powers. In that vein, you could call Akira the fascinating tragic tale of someone who loses his balance. Published in 1983, Sayonara Nippon is another notable work from Katsuhiro Otomo's repertoire. Delving into the realm of political satire, set in New York City, the story unfolds against the backdrop of a Japanese foreigner and contemporary politics and race relations. Otomo uses the narrative to critique the political landscape of Japan and America, addressing issues such as government manipulation and the consequences of blind patriotism. Sayonara Nippon showcases Otomo's ability to infuse social commentary into his storytelling, employing a blend of dark humor and thought-provoking themes to shed light on the complexities of contemporary society. Katsuhiro Otomo has been relatively private about his personal life, but it's known that he married Yoko Higuchi in the mid-1980s. Their union has endured over the years and they have shared the journey of adulthood together. While specific details about their family life remain largely undisclosed to the public, it's evident that Otomo's commitment to his craft and the demands of his illustrious career have coexisted with the more private aspects of family life. As the mid-1980s unfolded, Katsuhiro Otomo's creative pursuits expanded beyond the realm of manga, venturing into the dynamic world of animation. Otomo's foray into animation marked a new chapter in his artistic journey, allowing him to bring his visionary storytelling to life on the animated screen. In 1987, Otomo directed the animated adaptation of his magnum opus Akira. The film, released to critical acclaim, showcased Otomo's ability to seamlessly translate the intricate narrative and dystopian visuals of the manga into a cinematic experience. Akira, the movie, was a landmark achievement, not just for Otomo but for the entire anime industry. Its international success played a pivotal role in introducing anime to a global audience, earning accolades for its groundbreaking animation and thought-provoking themes. The animated adaptation of Akira was a testament to Otomo's commitment to pushing the boundaries of storytelling in both manga and animation. The film's success opened the doors for Japanese animation on the global stage and solidified Otomo's reputation as a visionary director and storyteller. Otomo's venture into animation continued with the creation of Robot Carnival, a collaborative anthology film released in 1987. Otomo worked as both a writer and director, contributing to his unique vision to the collective work. The anthology showcased a diverse range of animation styles and narratives, further highlighting Otomo's versatility as a creator. The late 1980s also saw Otomo involved in the production of Neo Tokyo, another anthology film released in 1989. Otomo directed a segment called Construction Cancellation Order, once again demonstrating his ability to craft compelling stories through the medium of animation.
There's nothing fabulous about drawing comic books. When you finish, you're relieved and happy, but it's the middle of the night and there's no one to share your joy with. With filmmaking, you have the party with your crew and then a premiere. All that stuff you miss when you just draw a manga. But there are drawbacks to filmmaking too. Sometimes it's really difficult to get your ideas across to your crew, for example. But it's true that I've discovered the joy in working with other people. Actually, I have an idea for a new manga and I can probably do it before my next big film project. The timing would be good, but my motivation is the problem. I'm not sure if I can get myself to sit down at a desk all alone, unless an editor forces me to. I haven't done any manga in about a decade. I guess you could say I'm a kind of disappearing mangaka.
As Katsuhiro Otomo entered the 1990s, his creative genius continued to shape the landscape of manga as well as animation. The decade marked a period of innovation and exploration for Otomo, as he developed into new projects that showcased his versatility as a storyteller and his commitment to pushing the boundaries of the medium. One notable work from this period is The Legend of Mother Sarah, a manga series created by Otomo and illustrated by Takumi Nagayasu, serialized from 1990 to 1996. The story unfolded in a post-apocalyptic world where the remnants of humanity struggled for survival. Against the backdrop of a desolate Earth, Otomo wove a narrative that explored themes of family, sacrifice, and the indomitable human spirit. The Legend of Mother Sarah showcased Otomo's ability to craft complex, character-driven stories within the framework of a dystopian setting. During the early 90s, Otomo also ventured into writing for the animated film Rujin Z, released in 1991. Rujin Z shares thematic elements with Otomo's exploration of the relationship between technology and society in much of his work. In Rujin Z, Otomo penned a tale that revolves around an elderly man used as a test subject for a revolutionary new machine designed to take care for the elderly. The film delves into the ethical implications of relying on technology for caretaking, a theme that resonates with Otomo's broader concerns about the consequences of unchecked technological development. One more of Otomo's notable endeavors during this era was the creation of Memories, an animated anthology film released in 1995. The film comprised 3 distinct segments, each directed by different visionaries, with Otomo himself helming the first segment, Magnetic Rose. This collaboration showcased Otomo's ability to weave intricate narratives through animation while collaborating with other creative minds. Magnetic Rose stands out as a testament to Otomo's capacity to craft visually stunning and emotionally resonant stories, even within the constraints of a shorter format. In 2001, Otomo returned to the director's chair with the animated feature film Metropolis, an adaptation of Osamu Tezuka's manga of the same name. Otomo's take on Metropolis was a visual spectacle, blending Tezuka's timeless storytelling with Otomo's distinctive visual style. The film received acclaim for its breathtaking animation and thought-provoking exploration of societal themes, showcasing Otomo's ability to infuse depth and relevance into classic narratives. However, one of the most significant contributions of Otomo during this period was his involvement in the creation of the animated film Steamboy, released in 2004. Serving as the director, screenwriter, and the original creator of Steamboy, Otomo's fingerprints were all over this steampunk-inspired masterpiece. The film unfolds against the backdrop of an alternate Victorian era, where the protagonist, Ray Steam, becomes entangled in a power struggle involving steam-powered technology with potentially devastating consequences.
I don't really mind how people regard me. You know, when I wrote Akira after Domu, which is even more SF-like than Akira, a lot of fans complained about it. And then when I made Steamboy after Akira, a lot of Akira fans asked me why I made a film like Steamboy. It's always the same thing. It's useless for me to follow these kinds of options. I should do what I want and not repeat myself. I don't mind what others think of me or my work. I don't think there's anything to gain from that for me. What I hate most is to stay stuck in the same spot. Don't get me wrong, I believe it's an honor that people like my work enough to become devoted fans, but each time I feel like I'm no longer in the same spot as them.
While Otomo's contributions to the 1990s and 2000s expanded the horizons for both manga and animation, it's essential to recognize his role in fostering emerging talents. As a respected figure in the industry, Otomo mentored and inspired a new generation of creators, contributing to the ongoing evolution of Japanese pop culture. In the 21st century, Katsuhiro Otomo continued to shape the landscape of manga and anime with both secrecy and prolific creativity. While maintaining a degree of mystery around his ongoing manga projects, Otomo directed his attention towards various anime movies during this period. His contributions included notable works such as SOS Tokyo Metro Explorers, based on an earlier manga of his own creation, and Combustible, a romantic story set in the Meiji era, showcasing his unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of visual storytelling in both manga and animation. Otomo's influence persisted as he balanced a blend of secrecy and prolific output, leaving fans eagerly anticipating the next chapters of his creative journey. In 2019, Otomo made headlines for the announcement of a new project, Orbital Era, a suspected continuation of the Akira story. This marked his return to feature-length filmmaking after a significant hiatus. The anticipation surrounding Orbital Era underscored Otomo's enduring ability to captivate audiences with his visionary storytelling and innovative approach to animation. As we reflect on Katsuhiro Otomo's journey into creativity from his humble beginnings in post-war Japan to his status as a global icon of manga and anime, it becomes evident that his impact extends beyond the pages of his works. Otomo's legacy lies not only in the dystopian landscapes and complex characters he brought to life, but also in the inspiration he instilled in future generations of storytellers. The ongoing evolution of Japanese pop culture owes a debt to Otomo's willingness to push boundaries, challenge norms, and mentor the next wave of creators. His journey serves as a testament to the transformative power of artistic expression and the enduring influence one visionary artist can have on an entire industry. As we eagerly anticipate the unfolding chapters of Katsuhiro Otomo's creative odyssey, we recognize that his legacy is not just a retrospective glance at the past, but a dynamic force that continues to shape the future of manga and anime, and the broader landscape of visual storytelling. In the ever-expanding universe of creativity, Katsuhiro Otomo remains as a guiding star, illuminating the path for those who dare to venture into the limitless realms of imagination.